Guys still hear me? Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Apple earnings reported tonight. My thoughts on it. Apple $1 trillion thoughts. What number exactly accomplishes that level? How about I tell you exactly how I'm going to trade Apple and make money tomorrow, as I usually do on these names, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. So Apple reported, and we're just going to go over the numbers. I'm going to share with you our agenda, and don't forget to see exactly how I am going to end up trading it here. So your screen will go black for just a moment. Don't worry, the sky is not falling. I'm going to share with you exactly. I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm going to trade Apple tomorrow. And I'm just going to show you this agenda right here. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to start off with Apple earnings. And don't forget, number 3, exactly how I'm going to trade Apple. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to fill your head with stupid BS. I'm not going to beat around the bush and say, well, if Apple does this, then you... No stuttering, no BS, no garbage, no Captain Hindsight. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to trade Apple tomorrow after they reported earnings earlier after the bell today. So, Apple earnings, my thoughts. Let's go over them. So if you listened to the Newsbeat show yesterday, I was very clear that their iPhone sales were going to suck. I said their iPhone sales are going to suck. And if you're in the room today, I was really skating. Do I take these puts in Apple? Do I take these puts? And then you know what I said? No, because their business services are going to rock. They're going to rock out with their business services. Let's talk about it. $2.34 was the Apple earnings per share. That does beat the $2.18 expected. 53.3 billion revenues on top of the 52.34 billion. And remember what I was saying, that Apple does have that cushion because Apple is a company who actually can justify the P ratio, unlike Amazon, unlike Netflix. If you want to know, the best companies out there, and as I said yesterday, I mean, Apple, Facebook, Google are by far the 3 most powerful FANG names. Why? Because those companies actually earn a lot of money for the share price of where it's trading at. Now, granted, names like Netflix and Amazon in that group have a lot of growth, and I'm going to share with you, of course, exactly how to trade it once I go through this. They declared a quarterly dividend, 73 cents per share. Congratulations. Apple iPhone revenue was $29 billion versus $24.85 billion last year. Only 41.3 million units sold. That missed analysts' consensus of the Apple iPhone units sold. Not a surprise. Not only that, their iPad sales were pretty sluggish. Funny thing about Apple, those are the 2 things I love most about them. However, their business services are absolutely rocking. They're rocking and rolling on their business services. They said they had strong sales of iPhone services and wearables, drove their third quarter. Wait till they start getting lawsuits on those wearables. I don't think it's going to put a dent in the company. Still very bullish. They said they have over 4 million users, or, participating in their new operating system beta program. So a major step forward with Siri shortcuts is going to be their new thing. Obviously, I don't think that means anything to their future revenues. It's just, oh, look, this is the new thing Apple is doing. However, one of the interesting things that Tim Cook said is, Tim Cook is Apple CEO, of course, said that tariffs end up as a tax on the consumer. Says tariffs are not the approach to fixing trade relations. Now, out of all the FANG names that reported already, you have Amazon that reported, you have Facebook that reported. With all these names that reported, you have to stop and think, why on earth would Apple be the one that says tariffs end up as a tax on consumers? The reason for that is the following. Chinese cell phone providers, the second largest Chinese cell phone seller in the world, if you want to go, into the Chinese companies that make the chips, for example, for Samsung, these companies are missing on revenues across the board. They're missing on revenues. If this trade war with China continues, obviously this is going to be an extreme detriment. Remember what I was telling you if you remember on last, and this is key here, and then of course stay tuned. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing to buy and sell Apple tomorrow, whether you're in the room or not. If you're in the room, you hear it in real time. If you're not in the room, well, it's kind of hard to speak to you if I have no way to speak to you, but I'll still tell you whether you're with me or not. So just listen closely, stay tuned. But one of the important things I said, remember, the biggest thing I pulled from the last Apple earnings was they said that China trade wars are not a concern. China trade wars. You know what? I don't even want to paraphrase. How's that? How about this? I won't even paraphrase. I will read it to you. I will read it to you directly. I will read it to you directly. Apple says they're optimistic in light of potential US China trade war. They're optimistic. They're not concerned about a US China trade war. And I stopped and I stepped back and I'm like, are you serious? That's like Apple's done, very great things in the past, more good than stupid. I think it's a phenomenally run company. But when I read that, it's like, what? It'd almost be like you respect Steph Curry for a three-point shooter in the NBA. Imagine Steph Curry came out and said three-point shooting isn't important in today's NBA game. You'd stop and say, like, what? Are you kidding me? That's how I felt when, Apple said this. So they're optimistic in light of a US China trade war, and they're not concerned about a US China trade war. And I said, huh? Are you serious? Now, fast forward to this earnings. Oh, tariffs end up as a tax on the consumer. It's not the approach to fixing trade relations. Now, all of a sudden, you go from something that is completely not a concern into it's the highlight of our concern. I find that funny. Nonetheless, Apple did well across the board with the exception of their iPhone sales, which missed consensus estimates. Their business services rock and rolled. They crushed it on their business services. We predicted that as well. And their iPad sales were subpar, average to subpar. So just to share with you that. Don't forget, I'm going to show you exactly how to trade it. But first, I want to talk about Apple $1 trillion. Apple $1 trillion. And I'm going to show you how Apple makes $1 trillion and why that number keeps changing for Apple. So as Apple actually buys back these shares, as Apple, and here's Apple after hours on the 5 minute, as Apple keeps buying back shares, they're removing market capitalization from the market. So people don't realize that the market cap is the outstanding shares that are available to market participants, not the actual shares. It doesn't include the shares that Apple actually owns. So as they do share buybacks, the price for Apple to hit $1 trillion market cap increases. But I thought since everybody, their mother, grandmother, next door neighbor, and great aunts and parakeets and squirrels outside are talking about it, why don't we show you mathematically what that number is? I'm going to show it to you. The number is $203.45, and I'll prove it to you. So right now, Apple has 4,915,138,000 shares outstanding. Those are the total number of shares outstanding for Apple. However, in order to get the market cap, you got to divide that by $1 trillion. So here's 3 zeros is 1,000, another 3 zeros is 1,000,000, another 3 zeros is 1 billion, and another 3 zeros is $1 trillion. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 zeros after a 1. And now you divide that by the 4 billion, I have it written down, 915,138,000. And that's how you get the exact market capitalization in which Apple needs to hit to get $1 trillion. And in case that's small for you, it's $203.45 and 3/10 of a cent after that. So basically, if Apple hits $203.46, you will officially have broke the $1 trillion market cap in Apple tomorrow. So you're going to actually find out how I'm going to trade it tomorrow. And this is going to be the interesting because there's actually some psychology about it. We're going to talk real quickly about the analysts, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to trade it. I'm going to show you the strategies and why I'm trading it. Every analyst is going to upgrade Apple through the ceiling. They're going to say everything is phenomenal. They're not going to mention the iPhone sales as anything negative. They're going to just go ahead and talk Apple through the ceiling. Not a surprise. I don't even think that's a bold call anymore. Some of you guys are so amazed how I read the Amazon analysts and how I called them wrong. I thought that was a bold call. Calling for the analysts to come out and upgrade Apple tomorrow, that's as bold as like eating a piece of big red chewing gum. It's like you chew into it, you're like, "Ooh, I got that sting," and wow, I can't feel my taste buds anymore. I'm going to keep chewing. Like I could take like a bite of horse manure and I wouldn't even taste it right now. And it's like more bold, like chewing a piece of big red. That's how I feel about it. And taking a look at Apple here, let's talk about how I'm going to trade it tomorrow. So the first thing I'm doing with Apple, ladies and gentlemen, is I am applying the one and done strategy. Well, Mark Melnick, I haven't watched all your Newsbeat shows. I don't know what the one and done strategy is. Let me make it easy for you. Step one, choose a name with positive or negative news. I'm interpreting Apple News as positive. After the first 1 minute bar closes, meaning 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, after 9:31 Eastern Standard Time, after the first 1 minute bar closes on the day, keep looking for the stock to break out of the top of the first candle. If it does, simply buy in. I don't care if you're buying shares, don't care if you're buying options. The way I personally do it is I do it through market orders. Set a simple stop below the candle. So, for example, tomorrow, let's say, the 1 minute candle of Apple, I'm just going to use stupid numbers, all right? The 1 minute candle range is $199 to $200 at 9:31. After 9:31, you see the 1 minute bar going to $200 and it hits $200 and you buy in. You buy in through $200, your stop is 199. You're setting your stop at the bottom of that candle. So that's basically what step 3 is. Step 4 is take your profits. There's no real mathematical theory that I have utilizing these names. There's no mathematical theory, meaning like, Mark, where should I sell it? Like, I hate to say it, I could I could probably plug in like 80 to 90% of the puzzle for you, but there comes to a point where there's just no statistically right answer that I was at least able to find. If it goes to $200, 50 cents, and you made 50 cents. But then market flew to $205. Why didn't I hold? I see so many traders out there talking how important it is to maximize your profits. And while I humbly agree with that, I've never seen one system out there that actually shows you how to do it consistently. There's too many factors involved between selling at the high of the day or riding out for a big move. I've rode out big moves with 25, 30, 40, even 50% of my position. But you buy an Apple at $200 and it goes to $200.50 or 201 or 201.50, and you're just sitting there like a deer in headlights with, like with your, what's the word I'm looking for with that? Uh, Very monotonous facial expression. Like you're sitting there, you buy through 200 and Apple shoots through 201 and you look like this. I mean, you have to sell the damn stock. All right. I don't care if it goes to 201 and you sold $200.25. I don't care. It means nothing to me. I'm here trying to make money. That's the only important thing. How many of you guys in the room have been becoming a lot more consistent who I've talked to on Friday, who I've talked to last Friday, and you're becoming more consistent? And are you hitting home runs? No. No. Well, some of you are. I don't want to say you're not hitting home runs. A lot of you are making home run is a different word for everyone. Some people they make $1,000. That's a home run. It's a huge day. I love you. I respect you. For other people, you have to make 20, 30, 40,000. For some people, 5,000. Everybody has different parameters and everybody has different risk parameters. But you will be in a trade that I feel that you can easily take profit on if you use the one and done strategy. So again, rewatch this video if you need. I'm going to apply the one and done strategy. After the one and done strategy is done, I have a second trade for you in Apple tomorrow. Guess what that's going to be? Appear second strategy. Bang, the high five strategy. And basically, step one, we're choosing Apple, which has positive news. The stock must open and gap up. That's right. And then what happens is we're going to wait for the 5-minute exponential 8 moving average. The thing is, because Apple's gapped up so much, it's likely this thing could take potentially after 10 o'clock. You might hit that 5-minute exponential 8. And look, setting up an exponential 8 moving average is very simple. Use free stock charts. That's the one I'm using. I'm using a paid version of free stock charts. It's identical in every way to TC2000. I think those are by far the best charting systems in existence. At the end of the day, it's whatever you're comfortable with. If you're making money on whatever you're comfortable with, do it. So, for example, you know, like a high five strategy today. It worked on Northrop Grumman. I'm using this just as a quote unquote random example because it's just the first name that was on our game plan over here this morning. I think it worked with the vast majority of these names. I don't want to turn this into me proving to you the high five strategy worked. I'd rather show you how I'm trading Apple tomorrow. So here's Northrop Grumman this morning, and you could just see it fell down. You see this little yellow line here, this little yellow. Looks like a little piece of flowing dental floss on my screen, yellow like my teeth, and it's just flowing across the screen. What you're basically waiting for it to do is it opened up here, pulled down, you hit the exponential 8 here, right over here. This was the first test of that yellow line at 9:35 to 9:40 on the 5-minute chart. We're using a 5-minute chart for this strategy. Now what you're looking for is you're looking for the break, the first break of a 5-minute chart. Did it happen here? No, you had to break right here through 296.13. Notice it didn't happen. Did it happen here? Yes, you hit 295.79 and you exploded to 297.07. Again, this is a strategy that, look, the strategies I find algorithmically work in today's market. The strategies I'm sharing with you may have not worked 6 months ago. These are strategies that are working today. So when I come to you and I tell you how I'm trading Apple tomorrow, so many of you were amazed and you wrote me love letters. And like I had to tell you all that I was married. You know, some of the, I don't want to talk about the photos you were sending me. You're all very beautiful people on the inside as well. But I do want to say, like, that's all I'm doing. I'm looking algorithmically to see what kind of strategies are working in today's market. So when I come to you and I'm like, this is how I'm trading Apple tomorrow, it's because I don't have a crystal ball. In fact, I have a box of tissues and, you know, a cup of water. And that's all I have here. But I know these strategies work, so I'm telling you what I'm going to plan on executing tomorrow. Okay? So that's why I could share my strategies. If you're wondering, why is Mark so confident just sharing what he's going to do tomorrow? How the hell does he know? Because I know it works the majority of the time. So the majority of the time, I will make money doing these strategies on Apple. So going back to the high five, I just tried to show you an example here of you're basically, if this was Apple tomorrow, which it won't be, Apple will be way further away from the exponential 8. You come down, you hit the exponential 8, you digest, you break out. So after you bought right here through this 5-minute candle that broke through 295.79, you're looking for the first break of the top of the candle. I can't make it simpler and stupid. I keep it simple and stupid because I'm a high school dropout and I have attention deficit disorder. So going back to it, you would buy through 295.79. You would have your stop there at 294.80 and you would break to the upside. That is the high five strategy for Northrop Grumman and Apple tomorrow. Wait for the exponential 8 to hit. Wait for that bar to close. As soon as that bar closes, you're buying through the next 5-minute bar that breaks out, whether it's on the very next candle, whether it's 20 candles from now, whether it's 2 candles from there. The first time you break a high the first time you break the high of a 5-minute bar after you tested the exponential 8 is an extremely high probability to make money on Apple tomorrow. What if I told you, ladies and gentlemen, there was a third strategy I'm going to do? You guys are going to love this one. I'm going to let you guys take stupid, wild guesses on what I'm going to do as my third strategy and, or more importantly, why I'm doing it. Why I'm doing it. Let me straddle at the open, 15-minute. Nope. I'll tell you. The thing I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to play the psychology of $1 trillion market cap. Now, I would love to, I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to do it in a second. And first, let me tell you why I'm going to do it. I don't have a strategy for what happens with a company when they hit $1 trillion market cap. In fact, I would be surprised to see, most likely you're going to see people estimating saying Apple has to hit about $203.50 because people round off and they're lazy and they don't like to do the work when the actual number for Apple to hit that market cap is rounded off to $203.45 and 3/10 of a cent. So we know that if Apple hits $203.46 because it doesn't trade in fractions of a penny, we know that Apple will have officially breached the $1 trillion mark. So 203.46 is the official answer. 203.46 is officially how Apple breaks that level. Now, Mark, how are you going to play it? Let me tell you. If Apple breaks 203, the odds of you getting to 204, I can't give you the statistics because it's a publicly traded company never hit the $1 trillion market cap. If Apple hits 203 tomorrow, the $1 trillion level is 203.46. It would still be at all-time highs. If it hits 203 tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and buy $205 calls expiring the next day. The reason, expiring this week, I mean, the reason why is people are going to get so, everybody's asking that same question tomorrow. So I'm teaching you how to play the hype. How many people are going to be buying through 203.40s in Apples trying to get to push the stock to that $1 trillion mark is going to be almost every uninformed trader out there. Don't underestimate the power of a million sheep crowding in one area at a given time. So pretty much that is what is happening. And I'm not saying sheep in a negative connotation. I'm just saying people are buying it for no other reason than it's going to $1 trillion. So I'm saying if it hits 203, I'm going to figure that it's going to hit 203.45. My statistical backtesting on that call is zero because no company in at least my lifetime and definitely your lifetime has ever hit $1 trillion market cap. So because 203.46 is the level, I want to get in before the sheep do. I want to make sure I get in before the sheep do. And the truth is, I might take one of my high five strategies. Again, rewatch this video, please. Here's the high five strategy. Very, very simple. Here's the one and done strategy. Very, very simple. Keep it simple, stupid. They're C strategies. Simple, effective, easy. And let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys want more C strategies? How many of you guys want more? You think I'm a one trick or I guess in this case a two trick pony? No, I make so many more trades. So if you want to see more one and done in high five strategy, leave it say I want more. And you'll encourage me to spend those extra few hours. You know how long, did you YouTube guys miss me in the past couple days? Did you know it took me 12 hours of work to get back up on YouTube with the garbage that's been happening with my software? So, like I'm telling you, I'll put in those extra hours even further for you and bring you more consistency strategies. So, the trick tomorrow, do the one and done, do the high five. If you start digesting near 203, I'm going to take some lottery $205 calls. If you don't trade options, you could buy the stock, obviously. And I'm looking for the break of that $1 trillion number. There's a fourth trade I'm doing. There's a fourth potential trade I'm doing. You guys thought I was done trading Apple? There's a fourth trade I'm doing. Now, if you remember from Amazon, I said, remember the day before, I'm like, the first 5 minute bar in Amazon's going to close red. And as soon as that 5 minute bar breaks, this is after it gapped up, we're going to go short. And that, to you guys, I'll admit that was I was proud of that call. I was proud of that. I looked at that call and I'm like, all right, Mark, that was a damn good call. And this is what happened with Amazon after earnings. You coincidentally put in a 5 minute red bar after gapping up. And if you shorted through that first 5 minute red bar, you had $14 in potential. Granted, the stock grinded down the entire day and went red after gapping up on earnings, but you see the power of these strategies. Now, on Apple, I'm going to apply it to if and only if the first five, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not making a prediction. I'm giving you an if then statement, right? So with the 1 minute strategy, you will know tomorrow looking at your chart exactly where I'm buying through. Look, using the high five strategy, you'll know exactly where I'm buying through. The 203 strategy will be an estimate. I could be buying in 202.80s. I could be buying 203.20. I could be buying in between there. You might not know unless you're in the room. Then, of course, you'll know. With this next strategy, you'll know exactly what I'm doing as well. So 3 out of 4, you can just, like if you ask WWMD, like what would Mark do, you would know exactly what Mark would do here. So what I'm going to do with the 5 minute, if we get a 5 minute red bar, I'm shorting on the first break of it. Meaning, if we get a 5 minute red bar, I'm going to short for the first break of a 5 minute candle. So let's say you get like a 5 minute red bar, then the next 5 minute bar closes in, let's say it doesn't break that bar. I'll and the next 5 minute bar comes, I'll be looking to short the first 5 minute bar that breaks, meaning that second bar in this case. So if you put in a 5 minute red bar, I will be shorting the first or buying puts. I will be shorting or buying puts on the first breakdown of the 5 minute candle. No, that is not a high five strategy. That is completely different. Even if I short it, I'll be buying on the high five strategy. I have long and short strategies for tomorrow. Those are my 4 strategies. Okay? I thought very clear. Whoops. No, let's not go to that again. I thought I was very clear on what we were doing here. How about our precise daily levels? I'm sure you guys would like to know my technical levels on all the FANG names tomorrow: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. The Q, Spies, IWM is there as well. And again, we're walking into a new month. I want you guys to be refreshed. Um, Maybe a little motivation because I really motivate myself when I do this. Ladies and gentlemen, you're walking into a new month of trading. Anything you have done before, win, lose, or draw, is completely irrelevant. I want you to try to apply something very intelligent to your trading. Take your quick profits, ride with a piece of it. Put yourself in a situation where you're always going to be up money no matter what. I don't care if it ends up where you are up 1,000 and you're trying to aim for 3, 4,000, you end up being only up $200 because you held and didn't sell. I'm okay with that. Try to put yourself in as profitable positions as possible. It's very important that you try to remain consistent and profitable. This is the first month in, I forgot, to be honest. It might have been a few months ago, but for the month of July, I'm green. I'm green in the month of July, meaning every day was green for me. So I want to set that as a goal for you as well in August. I don't care how much money you're making. People always say, I remember some trader pitch. He's like, and he boasted like, I'm wrong more than half the time, but I still make money. And I'm like, I looked at him and I'm like, no, you don't, bro. He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, no, you don't. Stop making stuff up. And of course, he couldn't back it up with anything. But that is how you psychologically destroy yourself. If you're wrong more than half the time, you're losing the battle. I don't care if you're up $1 million, you're losing the battle, believe me, because you're not going to be able to return to the market and do it again. You're going to psychologically decimate yourself. So back right here, um, here are all the levels in which I am watching here for tomorrow. How about I share with you exactly my Forex orders? How about I share with you all my bids, exactly where I placed them? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have a algo trendline class tomorrow, so I'll be teaching you guys where I derive these levels, where I get these algorithmic levels, and for example, how I got every single one of these levels in the Forex market. Please note there is a deviation in my normal size. I've been doing on average 4 standard lots. You see there's one trade with 6, one trade with 2, and one trade with 1. You get all my buy and sell orders for better or for worse. You got my 5 longs and 1 short. Here's my size. Here's the symbol pairing in which I'm looking to trade. Here's exactly where I put my bid, or in this case, offer, where I'm looking to long or short this currency pairing up to 5 decimal places out. If I buy it and I am wrong, or if I short it and I'm wrong, here's where I'm getting stopped out on SL for stop loss. If I buy it and short it or short it and I'm right, here's where I take my take profit level. Again, there's only one short trade in here on the US dollar, Swiss franc, USD, CHF. So those are all my Forex orders. And again, if you are interested in being part of tomorrow's trendline class, I know dozens of you just keep signing up for it. Again, like I can't tell you what to do. I personally think it's very important, just as a refresher. The truth is, I do these classes off the cuff. I'm not reading off a script. So the truth is, I might have learned something new because I spend so many hours just fine tuning. Like for me, I feel on the trend line side, for 50,000 hours, I think I'm about 98% there. To be honest, like if I had to judge myself on a 1 to 100, 100 being you perfected trend lines, I don't think I could ever get to 100. I think it's impossible. But I think I'm 98% there and I'm still growing, believe it or not. Spending all these hours and I'm going to bestow this knowledge upon you. I'm going to show you how I come out with these algorithmic levels, and it's just critical to your success. So definitely, um, so many people. I have somebody who's, you know, basically, I have a lot of people basically just tell me, Mark, I take it every time you throw it. It's like 95 bucks or 195 bucks. It's less than 200 bucks. And it's a course we give, and it's a few hours, and it really touches up everything. All it takes is a third of a good trade to make that and way more back. It is very worth it to keep your mind in the training mentality. Some people think like, you go for training, let me ask you, let's do it real simple. I'll explain it to you the easiest analogically way possible. Like you went to school. What percentage of the things you learned in school do you think you know today? You went to college. You went to high school. I did. I went to college for 2 years. I forgot everything I learned in college, and if I had to guess, I don't know the percentage. I would say I forgot 99% of the things I learned in high school. How about you guys? What did you remember from high school? What do you remember from high school? Not almost nothing. Almost nothing. You remember from high school? It's very important. It's very important to really be on top of this and really be on top of it. So now we're going to go into our full stock analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, that is for Newsbeat Live members only. We're the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.